How a popular noodle soup serves as a window to local Vietnamese culture. You're listening to The Wrap from Central Florida Public Media. I'm Brendan Byrne. Pho is the comfort food you didn't know you needed. This fragrant, warm soup is a staple of Vietnamese culture and can be found at many restaurants in Orlando's Little Vietnam in the Mills 50 district.
It brings the family together. Normally, in Asian culture, you don't eat it by yourself. You cook a big pot for the whole family. So pho is like the Thanksgiving turkey, right?
Through a partnership with student reporters at UCF's Nicholson School of Communication and Media, we take a trip to the noodle shops near downtown Orlando and explore the care and culture that goes into this staple Vietnamese dish. That's ahead on The Wrap, the big stories this week from Central Florida Public Media. But first, these news headlines. Many Orlando residents could soon be paying more for electricity under a new proposal the Orlando Utilities Commission's governing board will vote on next week. OUC says the new pricing system would be more equitable, helping customers control and potentially reduce energy costs. But as Central Florida Public Media's Molly Durig finds, not everyone is buying that explanation.
Solar industry advocates blasted OUC's peak shift plans at a rally Wednesday night. One big point of contention, plans to start charging OUC customers more for energy used during times of high demand. The utility says the goal is to incentivize customers to be more aware of and reduce their energy usage. But critics say it wouldn't work because not everybody can adjust their energy usage, especially marginalized groups. Orlando City Commissioner Patty Sheehan says seniors who depend on oxygen machines would be among the hardest hit.
Seniors cannot shift this usage to off times. They will be charged higher rates during the day when they need life-saving oxygen.
OUC's plans would also reduce current cost incentives for rooftop solar customers. The utility says the industry is rapidly changing and the original rooftop solar incentive is no longer cost-effective. Molly Durig, Central Florida Public Media.
As temperatures cool down, at least one respiratory virus is ramping up activity. Nationally and locally, RSV is showing more signs of activity. As Central Florida Public Media's health reporter Joe Mario Pedersen finds, state data shows a jump in RSV activity last month in Lake, Sumter, and Osceola counties.
Wastewater collections also show that Orange counties experienced a surge of RSV activity throughout November. Central Florida Emergency Department saw a 10% increase in RSV-diagnosed children. RSV is the leading cause of infant hospitalization in the United States. Dr. Cindy Prinz is an epidemiologist from the University of Central Florida. She says vaccine levels are lower than usual for children. The same is true for pregnant mothers, and
that's the reason that there's a recommendation for them to get vaccinated if they're going to be delivering during RSV season to try to protect that infant from getting sick.
RSV could still peak in December. However, COVID and flu are also expected to peak between December and February. Vaccine levels are also low for those two viruses as well. Joe Mario Pedersen, Central Florida Public Media.
The number of Floridians insured by Citizens Property Insurance fell below 1 million last month and is expected to drop to 907,000 by the end of the year. Citizens had more than 987,000 policies in force as of November 29th, according to the state-backed insurer's website. Citizens Chief Administrative Officer Jeremy Pope said this week that more than 237,000 personal line policies and nearly 1,600 commercial line policies were shifted out of Citizens to private insurers in October as part of what is known as a depopulation program. More local news stories on our website. Visit cfpublic.org. It's December, which means that while a lot of people are thinking about holiday parties and Christmas shopping, some are also thinking about taxes.
Planning is key. And with taxes is not an April 15th.
Several hurricanes hit the state this year, which means some Central Florida taxpayers may be eligible for additional deductions. What to know before the year is over that could impact your tax returns. That conversation on our website, cfpublic.org. Pho is the comfort food you didn't know you needed. This fragrant, warm soup is a staple of Vietnamese culture and can be found at many restaurants in Orlando's Little Vietnam in the Mills 50 district. For our Sounds of Central Florida project, a partnership between Central Florida Public Media and UCF's Nicholson School of Communication and Media, student journalists Nicholas Hernandez and Camila Escobar explore how this soup is a window into Vietnamese culture.
My name is Ricky Lee. I run the food blog Tasty Chomps. Pho is the national dish of Vietnam. It takes hours and hours of simmering bones, over a stove, and then also searing herbs and ginger and, obviously the beef broth flavor in there as well. And tastes very homey, it's very comforting. It's almost like chicken soup, Vietnamese style. Vietnamese food's been here in Orlando for decades, right? So they've got a strong foothold here. I remember coming to Pho 88 with big groups of people because it's a pretty big restaurant, friends and things like that, and pretty affordable. And it was always like a cafeteria kind of feeling, right? You got all your family and friends there enjoying the different dishes, including pho, of course.
Hello, my name is Tommy Trung. I am one of the managers here at Pho 88. So pho is a Vietnamese noodle dish. It brings the family together. Normally in Asian culture, you don't eat it by yourself. You cook a big pot for the whole family. So pho is like the Thanksgiving turkey, right? It forced us to embrace the meaning of families, how we're always busy and we need to find a time for our families to come together. It's not easy to make. We start off by cleansing the bone of all its impurity. After we do that, we cook for over 10 hours. So you're gonna start your day with early in the morning and you're gonna finish off late at night. It is meaningful and a sense of accomplishment when I walk into the dining room and the customer just put their forks and spoon down and just pick up the bowl with their two hands and just slurp straight from the bowl until they finish every single drop of broth. So that's always a happy sight.
We're here at Pho Hung Lang, which is a Vietnamese pho noodle restaurant here in Orlando in Mills 50 District. They're known for their beef filet mignon and short rib pho noodle soup here.
Food is a huge part of the Vietnamese culture, right? For celebration, family's huge. Like I said earlier, a lot of the folks came with nothing, right? Just the clothes on their backs. They basically risked it all. Now there's a third wave where the parents are retiring, and now the third generation, second generation is coming up and starting their restaurants.
The real good ones, you start fresh from bones and water. That's it. And it takes like 12 hours to coax the flavors out from the bones. And then you've got like star anise, cinnamon, and a bunch of other herbs and spices that they toast a little bit for that extra like flavor. And that's the distinctive pho taste, really. It comes from those spices. And it's medicinal too, it's good for inflammation and digestion and things like that.
Food is such a huge bridge between people. Like when you first think of Japanese culture, Italian culture, you think of their food, right? And so I'd say definitely use that as an opportunity to branch out and try new things. Start with pho, but maybe then you'll try the rice platter next with pork chop and or the sandwich, So there's just such a variety of different things that you can try and just learn.
That story was produced by student journalists Nicholas Hernandez and Camila Escobar for our Sounds of Central Florida project, a partnership between Central Florida Public Media and UCF's Nicholson School of Communication and Media. That's it for the wrap this week. This podcast is produced by Central Florida Public Media, with assistance from News Director LaToya Dennis and Digital Director Ryan Ellison. I'm Brendan Byrne. This is The Wrap.